Unchain my heart, baby, let me go. Unchain my heart, 'cause you don't love me no more. Every time I call you on the phone, some fella tells me that you're not at home. Unchain my heart, set me free.
Hello everybody, Joe Kidd here with True Original Artists. We got another great show today, and we have a very special guest, but before I get to that, I just want to say thank you very much for all the support you've shown. Every time I go out to a local breakfast place or a restaurant around town, everybody compliments on the show. They've been enjoying the guests I've been bringing on, and I hope to continue that. And I am going to continue that right now because I have a real special guest and a good friend that I've known for a long time. She's a superstar in Portugal, all over. She's been on every island, I believe. We'll talk about that, but right now I'd like to introduce to you out there Michelle Romeiro. She's a fantastic singer from Stoughton, Mass. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
That's good. So, Michelle, listen, it's a pleasure having you on the show because, you know, we go back a long ways.
Yeah.
I've known you since you were, I don't even want to say a young girl, but it's nice to say that I've known you that long because you really are a sweetheart. Now, as far as your singing career and everything, I see you all the time in the Portuguese fiestas and posters everywhere all over New Bedford, Fall River, right?
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of, let's start out by saying a little bit about yourself and what you're doing these days as far as your music and stuff. If you're writing, are you doing any new CD, any new music like that? What's the story?
Well, first, thank you for inviting me over
Oh,
here.
you're
It
very
is a
welcome.
pleasure to be here. We have known each other a long time.
Yep. My pleasure.
Yeah, so, well, right now, my priority has been my family. I got 3 little ones. So as far as recording, I've kind of taken a little seat back a little bit, but I'm still performing here and there. I've actually been singing a lot of Christian and gospel music, very active in that.
Well, that's a change for you, huh?
It is.
You don't have to dance much in that, right?
I still dance. I still dance.
Good for you, good for you.
Yeah, when we're, you know, I've sung in so many different styles of music and different realms, but when you're singing for the one who created you, is like, it's no greater satisfaction, and it makes you want to jump in the air.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great because, you know, I think that's evolving a lot into that now. Music is becoming very popular in like churches and different places of worship. It does lift the spirit.
Yes, yes.
You know?
And, you know, I grew up in a Catholic church, and that's the, you know, the music I was used to listening to hymns.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but when you start listening to the contemporary Christian music, it's rock, it's rap, it's R&B, it's great. Yeah.
Well, it's a whole new generation.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome, though.
Yeah,
I really do. I'm glad for you, and I'm happy for you because we all need a little bit of that in our lives today because there's a lot of things out there that are really tough to handle. And I believe myself that you really have to have something to have to believe in and have faith in. I mean, I'm all for that, 100%. So as far as the kids go now, they're still young, but they're a little older now, right?
Yeah.
So how old are they now again?
6. My daughter just turned 5, and then I have a 3-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm busy.
Yes, you do keep yourself busy.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go back to what I said in the beginning. As far as your music career now, right? You mentioned the fact that you haven't been writing too much in this time period, right?
I have been writing. I just haven't been recording. So I've been writing and you know, saving songs aside.
Yep.
So when the time comes, you know, start recording again.
Open your notebook and
right, because recording, you know, recording it's a lot of work. It involves a lot, and it's not just I record my album, and here we go.
Right.
Now you got to promote it. You got to travel.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of time taken away
Correct.
from family and the personal life.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And boy, do I know about that. And I have no argument with you there. It's a lot of work, especially when you're doing your own material. Cover bands don't realize that. It's a whole nother world, because even with previous guests I've had on the show, we discuss this a lot. It always comes up, because being in the studio and being on stage live in front of a great crowd and stuff is two different things. The focus level is totally different, because a lot of people don't understand that. I'm glad you brought that up, because it really is a lot of work. I mean, when you are producing an album or even a song, it takes a lot of your time, and of everyone's time, the engineers, the musicians, whatever you're working with. And unfortunately, when we get older, the time kind of like slithers down a little bit here and there. And but something, as musicians and artists, we always have to make time for that. Don't ever give that up.
Right.
Don't.
And I know that's why I continue writing, because I know it will come the time where I will. I'm like, okay, now it's time to get back in the studio. But my kids, the children, they're children for such a short time.
Enjoy them while you can.
Right. Before you know it, they're like off in high school and walk in the door, and hopefully that won't happen.
Oh my God, it's 6, 5, and 3. Relax, you got a ways to go.
I'm really taking my time to really just spend time with them, just enjoy this time with them, because it goes by so fast.
It does. It really does.
And that's what really matters, and teaching them too. I mean, when we're at home and one's on piano and my daughter loves to sing, and my youngest, he loves the drums, and the guitar.
Oh yeah. He
like,
plays the air guitar a lot.
Rock it.
That's
It's
funny.
so cute.
That is funny.
But just watching them learn from us also.
Right.
Because when my husband is also a musician, he's a bass player, and when we're performing together, we take the kids along, and they watch us. And we can see that when we're home and they're doing their thing.
They're doing the same thing. One guitar player, singer, and that's so cute. You're right.
Yeah, it lights me up to see them.
No, I think that's wonderful, because I've gone through it already, because my daughter's now 27 and my son's 20. He's in college, but my daughter, she's all set. She just got married last year, and boy, do I remember those times. And let me tell you, they do fly the coop real quick, and then you start missing them, and it's just so empty, and you go, oh my God, where's all the noise around here? Where's all the screaming? Where's all the singing? But anyways, as far as the family goes, it's great that you took the time and you're enjoying this. But there's other avenues I'm sure that you're going to be taking to enjoy your music and everything like that. Tell me a little bit about coming up, anything that you have planned up, like after the holidays and everything like that. You got anything planned for any shows, or anything? Any trips to Portugal on a tour or anything?
I don't have any trips yet. I do have, after the holidays, I do have some shows that are more cultural, Portuguese cultural. There is a group that I'm in, it's called the Portuguese Heritage Group. And we've gone to Portugal, and we basically take traditional Portuguese music, fados, and folkloric music, and we collaborate with some musicians from the Boston Symphony.
Oh, nice!
And we just give it a different twist to it.
Right.
And we have a few shows. One actually.
Now, is this
January
something new
6th.
that you're doing?
Well,
recent.
It was a couple of years ago that we got together, a few people from Stoughton that I close to, Nelson Garcia. He actually approached me.
Wow.
He plays the accordion.
Yeah.
And been,
I love Nelson. He's the best.
A lot of people know Nelson.
Shout out to you, Nelson, out there. We thinking of you.
Yeah, so, and then a couple of other local artists, Brianna and Liz Alves, and we've got together, and then also with some other musicians from the Boston Symphony, and we just started doing a few shows here and there.
Kidding.
We've where did we perform in before? In Boston during the Portuguese, the cultural, the weekend of Portugal Day.
Oh, really?
They actually have a few functions, and we've.
Do you guys work out a thing with dance routines and everything?
No,
like
no. It's
stuff?
very. It's very,
a little more.
It's more cultural.
Okay.
It's more. No choreography, no dancing
I
or
got you.
anything.
Yeah.
Just more about the music. And actually, we have some younger kids that are also involved playing the cavaquinho
nice.
and the Portuguese guitar and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's actually our focus is to open the doors to the younger generation, to continue on with the Portuguese culture, the Portuguese tradition. So we're always inviting younger
Good for you.
people to be part of the group.
That's great. I love that. That sounds like a really fun thing to do. Anything with the young kids is great because I enjoy bringing younger people on my show. I've had a lot of young guests. Like I had this one girl stands out. Haley Reardon is her name. She was a guest on one of my shows when I was in Easton. And she was 15 years old when she was on my show. And let me tell you something. Shout out to you, Haley Reardon, out there. If you guys want to go on YouTube and check her out, she's very good. She writes all her own material and plays acoustic guitar and sings. And she is like a superstar at 15. Now she's probably about 18 now, and she's got videos everywhere, and she's really doing phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm glad that I got that opportunity when she was that young to interview her, because it really showed her maturity.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to bring those young kids and to be part of something like that, because culture, number one, is very important. Number two, music is in all our lives. So if you can give them that, both those things, I mean, boy, you're giving them a lot. That's a lot. Culture and music.
And as I was born in America, but my parents immigrated from Terceira, Azores Island, and as we see the generations going, so a lot of some of the Portuguese culture, it's getting,
dimmer.
So we're trying to just let our children and
give it another kickstart, right?
Yeah, like just keep it going.
No, you're right. That's so true. It's actually, I've seen the changes through the years when I was younger. We used to look forward, like when I was 15, 16. I'd love going to the Portuguese dances. They were everywhere, every town, every club, every Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
And you could just go to any Portuguese club anywhere, and there'd be a dance on Saturday nights. And being a 16-year-old boy, 17 years old, there was going to be girls there to dance with. Yeah. And, the parents didn't mind if you danced with their daughters. So it was kind of, it was really kind of cool, actually, when I think about it. But now it's like, it's so hard to get these younger kids to come out with their parents to go to one of those type of dances. So, I mean, the music's still great. The artists are still great. It's just the younger generation, they're more Americanized now, and we lost that, like that 10, 20 year span there. And the parents that were kids back then kind of stopped doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and it is hard, even teaching my children Portuguese. Right. It's so hard because they put on the TV, but we even just a little here and there, it does make a difference.
That's so true.
And I know so many young kids who, even though they don't speak fluently, because their parents have put them into the Portuguese cultural music activities and groups, they sing in Portuguese.
Oh yeah.
They might not realize what they're singing. And,
isn't that funny?
but they sing. Yeah, and they continue on with the Portuguese music.
Michelle, that's what I do. When I sing a Portuguese song, Michelle, I don't know what I'm singing about. I just learn the words and I just say the words. I don't know what I'm singing about. I'm just kidding. I know what I'm singing about, but just as a joke. But you're right. It's so funny when they're young like that. You know, they just kind of learn it.
Yeah.
And that's it. That is really no focus on the theory behind it. It's just those are the words. Just learn them. Learn them and sing them. Right. Well, listen. On that note, I'm going to take a little pause here, and we're going to play. We have a few cuts of some of Michelle's music. Very nice, actually. I love Michelle anyway, but she's a great singer, and I love her songs. They're really good, easy listening stuff that can easily be danced to, listened to. And I know a lot of the Portuguese people, but you American people out there, I know you're going to appreciate her voice and their style of music. So right now we're going to go to that and let you listen to a couple of her songs, and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Quando chamavas por mim para saber se eu namorava, e eu respondia assim, olê, olari, loleia. Sim, onda, é o que eu quero saber. Se me queres, diz-me então, não tenhas medo em dizer. Sim ou não, é o que eu quero saber. Se me das teu coração, não tenhas medo em dizer. Eu não tinha compromisso, estava tão longe de o ter. Eu não tinha compromisso, estava tão longe de o ter. Foi amor o teu sorriso que me deitou a perder, que me deitou a perder. Olê, olari, loleia. Sim ou não, é o que eu quero saber. Se me queres, diz-me então, não tenhas medo em dizer. Sim ou não, é o que eu quero saber. Se me das teu coração, não tenhas medo em dizer. Eu já não tenho medo, porque o mundo está cheio de amor. E quando a vida muda num momento, há sempre alguém que nos tira a dor. Eu agora estou mais segura, já tenho asas para voar. Só me resta andar à procura do dia que o sol há de brilhar. Haja o que houver, temos que acreditar que existe Deus para nos salvar. E é na fé que se vai encontrar o simples direito de poder amar.
Hello and welcome back. Joe Kidd here. I'm with my special guest today, the very lovely and talented Michelle Romeiro from Stoughton. A great Portuguese singer, phenomenal. I'd like to go on with her a little bit and discuss a few more things now regarding the future and as far as any shows coming up. I know you mentioned something in the summer of next year, right?
Yeah. So right now, you know, a lot of times people call me a little later, probably after the new year. So I'm sure I'll have more shows coming up, but I do have one scheduled for, I think it's June 24th. It's a Sunday. It's at the Portuguese Festival.
At the church, right?
St. John's.
Okay, St. John's.
St. John's Pub, yeah.
All right. So just to reiterate that, we're going to say right around June 24th, and that's going to be at the St. John's Club outside. I'm sure everyone in Stoughton knows where it is, right next to the VFW on Washington Street there. So make sure you put that on your calendar for June. And I hope that everyone enjoyed the songs that you listened to from Michelle. I'm sure you enjoyed them very much. And we have a couple more for you a little bit later. Right now, I want to mention that Michelle and I are actually working together coming up New Year's Eve, right? New Year's Eve, right? So we're doing a show, actually, believe it or not, together. I haven't worked with Michelle in a while, but we have done some things in the past. And we're going to be doing at the Portuguese National Club on Wyman Street there. I believe it's 38 Wyman Street, if I'm not mistaken. But we will be there New Year's Eve. So I really would like to extend that out to everybody, Portuguese, American people, whoever. It's open to the public. And I'll tell you, they have a real good, great meal plan, prime rib, fish fillets, I mean, everything. The poster will be all over town. We'll be putting it up in a little while on the show, too. And her and I will be performing together that evening. And we also have Kevin Medeiros, which is a great DJ. He does a great job. He plays Portuguese and American music, fantastic. So there'll be a lot of fun New Year's Eve. It's the party to go to, put it that way, in the town of Stoughton. Michelle, you must be excited. You're right close to your mother's house. You can run home like the old days.
Yeah, I am excited. I actually, it's been a little while since I've done a show on New Year's.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love New Year's.
I know.
I love the excitement. Just forgetting about the past,
Yeah.
what's happened.
Whole new day.
Yeah, it's like you feel like you could start over again, right?
Yeah. No, that's very true. I love those New Year's resolutions that you never keep, of course. But I'm very excited also because not only will we be working together, but we'll get to see all our family and friends because we're both from Stoughton. So we get to see all our family. I don't know if that's a good thing for us or not, but no, it is a good thing. But we get to see all our family and friends. They can all come and party together. So we should have a real good crowd that night. That should be great. But I would advise everybody out there, if you're watching the show anyway, to please call the club. It's 781-344-9890. If you'd like to reserve a table or get tickets, anything like that, just call them up. Go online, whatever. PNC, Portuguese National Club, Stoughton, Mass. I want to extend that to everybody out there because we'd love to have you all there. And we're pushing the show together today, which will be a lot of fun. I mean, New Year's Eve with Joe Kidd and Michelle Romeiro. Can't get any better than that in Stoughton. Okay? Let's move on to a couple other things now that we can talk about regarding. You mentioned a couple of times that your husband's a musician and everything like that. Let's talk a little bit about how you guys take turns and stuff and finagling your way around gigs. I want to hear that myself because husband and wife musicians, I can see that can be complicated sometimes, right?
Well, yeah. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
But it is. I'm not going to say it's a curse. No,
it's not.
But it can be difficult because we're both very passionate about what we do in music, and he freelances. He does performs a lot with the Portuguese artists, and even some jazz. He does some jazz. He's actually involved in the jazz trio right here in Stoughton. And,
is that the one with Robert Teixeira?
Yes. Yeah.
Rob was on my show too.
Yeah.
You probably watched it.
I
right?
did. I saw it.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like Rob.
Yeah, he's great.
And that's good. So they work together.
Yeah. So there's been when my husband and I are together and we're performing together. Sometimes we're able to get a babysitter. Other times the kids have to come along.
Well, a couple more years, you'll have them dancing for you.
Yeah.
You had Luge Pastana's girls for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Nina and Liana, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that was great. I loved watching you guys. I mean, when I see you guys at a feast or something, that was great watching
Yeah.
the little girls dancing and all choreographed. You guys did a great show.
Yeah, Nina and Liana, they were great.
Oh, fantastic.
And yeah, I miss them.
I know. Shout out to you girls
Yeah.
because we both love you. All right, you know
Yes.
that. And Nina, I think, just had a baby, right? Wasn't it? No, it was Liana. Liana had the baby. And she's such a sweetheart, too. And she just had a baby, too. So she's doing great. And I
Yeah.
just actually went to the wedding last year.
Yeah.
So that was nice. But I really thought that was wonderful what you guys did.
It is. It's great. And, you know, we've been to Portugal a few times, all of us together. We just had such
How
a
was
blast.
that though? Let's talk a little bit about that. When you guys went, when you took the girls, right? Now, were you
yeah.
like the big sister in the group, or what? Or mama? Were you the big mama? Or what?
Yeah, well, Mama was with them, so
Oh, okay.
it was just great. It was, and it's a whole different experience than
Yeah.
the Portuguese feasts here.
Yeah.
Portuguese feasts here, you know, you perform, and you know, you have people walking around and they're dancing and they're doing their own thing, but there, it's like a concert.
Right, right.
You've got, you drive through a big crowd and people are shouting your name and they're singing to the
Yeah.
words to your songs.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, yeah, it's great.
That's fantastic.
It's really a different experience.
Well,
It's
you're a
unforgettable.
star over there because you know you are. I mean, I know a lot of the Portuguese entertainers now because I've got involved with a lot of Portuguese shows in the last 2 years, say. But you guys are really popular there. It's like say if a big Portuguese star came to here, people pay bigger money and they go and they pack the place and it's a concert.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're a star over there too. You're a star here, but I can imagine how that must be over there, right? When you get there,
Yeah.
when you arrive. I mean, do you guys sign autographs and stuff?
Yeah, and
You do?
know, walking down the street, there's Michelle.
Do you really? So you have autograph signings and everything?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pictures and stuff like that?
yeah.
See that? So that must make you feel like a star, right?
Yeah.
So
It was an unforgettable experience,
Right.
and it's great when whenever I get the
Yeah.
opportunity to do that.
That's fantastic. I'm happy for you. No, that's really nice that you got that out of that because that's special. Those are special moments you'll never forget in your
Yeah.
life. So, very nice. And you guys really did a good job. Now, did you do all the choreographing? Because I don't know if Nina and Liana could have done it back then, but
well,
you guys did a great job.
Actually, it started off that I did some choreographing. I'm not a dancer, but
Yes, you are actually. She's a very good dancer. Don't let her fool you. Very good.
not professional dancer.
You're a professional.
But it started off, and then we started working together. And before I knew it, they were choreographing their own thing, and they
Really?
would just come to practice. Okay, what do you have? Great, and
Wow,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
So that's great because you know they were twins, actually. The two girls we're talking about, Nina and Liana, they were twins, and they started. How old were they when they started dancing? Maybe 7, 8. So it had to be young, right?
I don't think that young.
No?
I think they were maybe 13.
Oh, were they
maybe
that old? Okay.
Yeah.
It just seems to me that they were so young when I would see
There
you
was
guys.
a point when they were 7, 8, and I knew they loved to dance, and I just, because I was a little older, you know, they were still young looking. So, but then it came a time where I was like, wow, look, they're
So they
growing
were like,
up. Okay,
yeah, they were like teenage, like
Yeah,
going
yeah.
into the teens,
Yeah.
and you know, being like cool.
Yeah.
And they must have thought, you know, the world of you. Seriously, they must have like.
I don't know what they thought of me.
I can just see them both. You know, we danced for Michelle Romeiro. You know, it's so funny. That's wonderful. I mean, I think that's wonderful. Really. I mean, how many kids would give to do that? You know.
Well, we had a lot of great moments,
Yeah.
great times. It was fun. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I love hearing stuff like that. You know, it's just nice when you hear good things happen to good people,
Yeah.
and you're a great person. So you know, I'm glad that you got a chance to experience all that great fun stuff. You have to do that when you're young, though, because when you get older and you have kids, you know, some of that stuff kind of gets put on the back burner. But then there comes another chapter in your life.
Yes.
I mean, I've been through a couple of these chapters. I hate to say how old I am, but you know, I've been doing this for 40 years now, 40 plus. So it's kind of like I've gone through those stages when my kids were little and born. Okay, no more traveling, got to stay around, got to do a gig here and there, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. But now I'm almost 60, and I'm still out there rocking and rolling. I don't have no diapers to change.
Yeah, you look great.
So, thank you. But I don't have no diapers to change now, so I can just book. Hey, any bookings? Give me a call. I'm on that stage, no problem. But it's funny how you go into the stages, you know, like when you're young, middle age, and then you kind of hit over 50, sort of. And you're almost like when you're 20, 25 and you're performing, and then you meet musicians that are 50, you think they're like ancient. I mean, you're like, oh my God, you're still playing?
Yeah.
I remember saying that to guitar players that I knew. And now I'm the one that's older, and I'm going like, wow, I can't believe I'm still doing this. So it's something that I'm sure you're going to experience now. That'll be your next chapter. You know, kind of, the kids are getting a little older, no more diapers. You can actually get a babysitter for the night. You can maybe even leave them for a weekend and say, come on, honey, you're coming with me. We're going to Portugal. And my parents are going with us. They're going to babysit when we're playing.
Yeah, hopefully there'll come a time that we'll be playing all together. You know?
The Partridge Family, the Osmonds. Oh yeah, I can see that. That's great. But that you can see with two musicians, Mommy and Daddy. You know.
Yes, there's a lot of music in our house.
Right.
We have a whole room dedicated to music. There's
And
always
there's
someone
nothing
on the drum
wrong
set.
with that.
Yeah.
Okay. On that note, I'm going to take another quick pause because we have some music to play for you guys today on the show. We're going to listen to a couple more songs by Michelle, and I'm sure you'll enjoy these two. And we're going to take a quick break. Thank you very much.
Beijinhos pra cá, beijinhos pra lá, até damos beijinhos enquanto a gente dorme. Beijinhos ao almoço, beijinhos ao jantar, assim o nosso amor nunca chega a passar fome. Um beijo para ser um beijo deve ser dado com paixão. Se não for dado com desejo, não entra no coração. Beijo branco ou moreno, os beijos não têm cor. Às vezes o mais pequeno é dado com mais amor. Beijinhos pra cá, beijinhos pra lá, até damos beijinhos enquanto a gente dorme. Beijinhos ao almoço, beijinhos ao jantar, assim o nosso amor nunca chega a passar fome. Às vezes dá por 1 milhão, quer nos lábios ou no rosto, vai parar ao coração. Muito obrigada, mas leio o teu
Hello and welcome back. I've been having a great time here with Michelle. I hope you enjoyed her music. I'm sure you did. And so those are songs to give you guys an example of what she'll be singing. And she also is going to be singing quite a few American songs also. But I wanted to give the audience out there a taste of her the songs that she helps write and produce and involved in recording and stuff like that. The songs that she takes pride in going and doing concerts with and things like that. So we'll have a lot of fun and a lot of dancing that night on New Year's Eve. Now, Michelle, let's talk a little bit about, I know we talked about this a little earlier, but before we went on air. As far as like your family and everything, your mom and dad and everything like that, right? They must, I'm just curious. I would love to have them here right now to ask them this question, but I would love to ask them how they feel when they're watching you perform. You know, like when they go to a feast or a concert and you're performing. What are some of the comments that your parents would make to you? I mean, I have to get them from you. I wish I could ask them, but
Well, my
they
father,
must be proud of you, of course. But I mean, what are some of the comments that they make?
My father, he's, I know he's very supportive, but he kind of just sits back and doesn't say much. So, you know,
He doesn't?
no.
He's kind of laid back anyway.
Sometimes, you know, he'll just go to watch me sing because it's good food.
That I believe that. Oh, God.
But my mother has always been with me.
Yeah.
She's always been by my side from the time I started singing.
Right.
I picked up that mic at 5 years old.
Right.
She's taken me everywhere, and there are times where she critiques me. She tells me,
Yeah.
you did this.
You're a little up there.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on with the sound system? It just your voice isn't projecting
Of
now.
course, it's always the sound system. It cannot be your voice. Mama would never say that. It's not your voice, Michelle. It's the sound system. Trust me. I gotcha. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, she's always been supportive. She even now, she's like, when are you going to start recording again?
See?
You know, when are you going to start, doing, because she is Portuguese, she likes it when I'm involved more in the Portuguese music scene, as opposed to, singing American music
or jazz or anything.
Yeah. She relates to the Portuguese music, so she likes that.
The style.
And it's also what I've recorded. It's where my popularity
and your
is.
roots.
And,
your
yes.
roots.
So she loves it when I go perform.
That's funny. No, I'm one of these days when I run into either one, I am going to ask them that on my own time someday. But I just kind of always wondered that because it's so funny. I'll never forget. I was maybe 24, 25, the first time my mother ever went and heard me play. And that's only because it was in Easton, because I used to play in Boston all the time. And I never played locally, ever. So it was like rock and roll.
Yeah.
So it wasn't her style of music. She was like your mother, it's Portuguese music all the way, right? But I'll never forget that. We were playing at a place called the Stone Forge Tavern on 138 in Easton. And I thought that was the best night of my life in music when she showed up.
Yeah.
My sister Gorette actually surprised me because I had been telling my mother, please, Mom, just go and hear a few songs. I want you to go see me play. So she would always say, nah, I don't like that kind of music, So one night when we were there, my sister knew we were there and she used to go see me play all the time. She shows up and I'm on stage already singing a song and all of a sudden I look down and I swear to God, it actually brought a tear to my eye. I was singing, I can even tell you the song I was singing, 2 Tickets to Paradise by Eddie Money. I was singing that song when I see my sister walking in with my mother and they sat right on the front table. Oh my God, what a feeling that was, just to have her there. So I can imagine, you had her there all the time. My mother was never there. So that one time is the only time, honest to God, the only time I think I can remember that she went to see me play. So that was a special moment, so that's why I'm glad that you have your mother to be there with you all the time. That's nice,
Yeah. I mean, now sometimes I feel bad because my husband comes with me, and sometimes I need her to babysit, so she doesn't get to come with me. She has to stay home to babysit. So, and I know she would love to come whenever I perform, but
we got to get them there New Year's Eve. We got to get them. You got to really push it. You tell your brothers, tell your mother, get everybody over there. Let's get a big party going that night. You know, I'm going to get my family, you get your family and friends, and I'll get my family and friends. We'll take over the whole club, and we'll raise the roof, you know. But anyways, all right. Now, just basically, we're coming close to the end of the show, but I want to take a few more minutes to talk about, as far as like, Portuguese music in general, when like as far as you know a lot of the artists. When you are like over in Portugal, let's say for example in Portugal, when people like the artists that are here go there, is it all the same kind of effect that is on like Mark Dennis or somebody when they go to there? Is it similar like what you were describing when you get there and people are screaming and all that and like a concert type thing? Is it with every artist that comes or specific ones? I mean, do they have their favorites like they say when she's playing, thousands of people will be there, something like that?
Well, I'm not sure as far as the reaction of the other artists. Clips that I've seen of other Portuguese artists, it looks to be the same.
Yeah. So it's very popular there on the islands, right? That artists come from the United States that are kind of pretty popular in the music scene. Do you find there's any artists that are there, the ones that are there in their own islands, are they as popular there in their own islands as they are coming from here? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of artists from the islands. I know a few, and you know what that saying. I don't even know what I'm saying in English, but
no, say it in Portuguese.
Casa não fazem milagre.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which, you know, sometimes, you know, when you're in your hometown, it's not, you don't feel that appreciation as much as when you go out.
Correct.
You know, when I went to Portugal to perform, I had never been there. People didn't really even know who I was.
Right.
And yet I had maybe about 10,000 people to come see me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
because
about.
I came from America.
Yeah, well, this is exactly the point I'm trying to make. So in other words, are you trying to make, the point you're trying to make is that same thing applies there as here. So you're from Stoughton, so all the Stoughton people know Michelle, right? No big deal, right? And when you go there, it's like, Michelle! And it's like an explosion, right?
Yeah.
Something
I mean,
like that.
I do. I mean, I'm not going to talk down to it. I do still have people that appreciate what I've done, and they tell me, don't give up, don't, you know, just keep going, and we so appreciate you. And I'm appreciative of that.
Absolutely.
But that feeling of, that sense of like, wow, like
you kind of get blown away, right?
Yeah, it's when you go out to another country and you get that different reaction.
That's funny. That's great though, because you know, it's the way it is. You're right, and I mean, I can't say anything about that because I've never experienced it myself, but I can only imagine the reaction from the people over there, because everybody I talk to that does that travels to a different country, not necessarily Portugal, anywhere that they're famous for their heritage or their cultural music here, and they go to their country and sing. Like if they're Irish and they sing Irish music, when they go to Ireland to perform, they get 10 times the money that the Irish musicians get, right? Just to pay for their trip and everybody to go. So I think that's wonderful, and they cover all the expenses, of course, right?
Yes.
So it's nice that you get a free trip to Portugal. You get room and board, food too.
Well, the past wherever I've gone, luckily has been family, so I take advantage and I, stay with my family.
Oh, that's nice. That's a perk. That's a perk. Very good. Well, we're getting close to the end here, so I'm going to take a minute. This is going to be a Joe Kidd minute here, and we're just gonna play a couple of songs that I'll be doing that night. So I hope you enjoy a couple of songs from me here. Give everybody an example of what I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep it mellow that night just for the beginning of the night. But then after 10 o'clock, we're raising the roof. Okay, her and I are gonna You guys are going to have a lot of fun. So remember, everybody's welcome. Portuguese National Club in Stoughton, New Year's Eve. It's $50 a person. A table of 10 is $450, which is save $50. Buy you a couple of drinks. There'll be 2 bottles of wine on each table. There'll be prime rib dinner, fish, all kinds of goodies, desserts, you name it. And then at midnight, they'll be serving, I believe, what do you call those rolls? Torpedo rolls, right?
Yeah.
Like that, and then with little sandwich rolls and everything like that, and coffee and everything for everybody. So we hope to see everybody there. All right, Michelle, we want to see the town of Stoughton
Yes.
together,
Yeah.
pull together, and we want to see everybody there New Year's Eve. So right now we're going to go to that. Joe Kidd singing a few songs here. I believe it's To Love Somebody by the Bee Gees and Guitarra Toca Baixinha in Portuguese. So enjoy the songs and we'll be back to say goodnight.
There's a light, a certain kind of light that never shone on me. I want my life to be lived with you, to be lived with you. And there's a way, everybody say, to do each and every little thing. Oh, and what good does it bring if I ain't got you? Oh, I ain't got you, baby. You don't know what it's like, baby. You don't know what it's like to love somebody, to love somebody the way I love you. Guitarra toca baixinho, que alguém pode escutar. Só ela deve entender, só ela deve saber. Estou falando de amor. Canto os grilhos no campo, pássaro no ramo. Ninguém dorme esta noite, e menos ela que agora escuta o recho e suspira. Lua parada no céu, vagalume que passa. A guitarra minha toca baixinho, e mesmo com a mão incerta, toca a guitarra que a hora, e a hora de dar-lhe tudo bem que há no meu peito. Dizer-lhe adeus também tenho o direito de amá-la como nunca amei ninguém. E a hora de respirar pouco de ar puro, prado é ver quando é a primavera. O sol é quente, mas a noite espera por nós os dois.
Well, Hello again, and this is the last segment of today's show. We're here today with Michelle Romeiro, a very good friend of mine from Stoughton, a fantastic singer, mostly known for her Portuguese music, which we played a few clips of some stuff earlier for you. And we will be performing together at the Portuguese National Club once again. I want to remind everybody again, because I hope a lot of people that are watching this come down. It's the best party in town, best bang for the buck. You can't go wrong. So please. And on that note, I'd like to talk to Michelle about one last thing before we say goodbye to everybody. As far as like all your friends and you know, everything that you have around locally and stuff, since you got married, do you find that you still have like that large group of friends, like the Nelson Garcia groups and all them? And I remember you doing all the folkloric stuff, right, for years and years. This is what I wanted to end with, because I thought it would be a good ending, because I think that's where you began, really, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of do it full circle sometimes, right? But now let's talk a little bit about how old were you when you started with the folkloric stuff? Let's go from there.
Well, I started at 5 years old. It wasn't the folklore, but it was this Portuguese variety show. And I never forget Nelson Garcia knocking on my door and asking my mom if they're trying to get kids together, and if I would be interested. And there was just something inside of me that was just like, Mom, I gotta go.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I just had this passion inside of me to sing.
Fantastic.
And it started off.
So you were about 5 years old?
Yeah, and then I continued on to the folkloric dancing, and then I played saxophone in the marching band.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were in the marching band.
Yeah.
Gee, I wish I had a tambourine with me right here, right now, because I'd have Michelle do a quick, show you a quick routine here, how she can hit the tambourine.
That's the Dança de Carnaval, which I'm actually doing one this year. Not with the tambourine, though. I moved to the cavaquinho ukulele.
I was just going to say it's called the cavaquinho, but it's really a ukulele, actually.
Yeah.
But that's funny. She was really good at that. I mean, I couldn't believe how quick you were with. I mean, oh my God, the tambourine. She goes all over the place on hitting all the parts of her body, her arms, her shoulders, everything, all over the place with the tambourine. I remember that when she was younger. And she was really good at that stuff. You were really, really good at that. I don't know how you could do it. I mean, on the time, especially on time.
On time.
Woo, that was work, huh?
It was a lot of work to plan it, because it wasn't just doing that. I mean, usually the person in the middle, coordinates a lot of things. And thankfully, a lot of us coordinated together. Nelson and
you guys had a good crew there.
We did.
That was a nice group.
It was,
nice group.
So we did a lot together, but it was a lot involved, from choreography to clothes, because it's always an event that occurs during Mardi Gras, and
that's actually what it reminds me of, like a Mardi Gras type thing.
Yeah.
So that was something else. I saw you guys a couple of times. And I did like the comedy stuff too, because the guys used to dress up like women, and oh my God, I didn't go to too many of those, but I did go to a few, so I wasn't that Americanized, you know.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed all that stuff. You all I remember is, as far as you go, you seemed like you were having a great old time. I mean, you were smiling from ear to ear back, I mean, dancing away, and I was like, wow, this girl is really something else. I actually talked to you about this earlier, but I remember Michelle, when she was maybe, how old were you when me and Peter were playing together and you came over and you sang us, we were trying to sing
17.
17. So when she was 17 years old, she popped over, a friend of mine, Peter Souza from Stoughton, a keyboard player, very good musician also. And me and him had a two-man band. I played guitar, he played keyboards, and we did Portuguese American music. And Michelle was a little girl of 17 years old, and she shows up at Peter's house one day, and she wanted to sing this different stuff. So we got her singing American stuff she wasn't used to. And I remember the song "The Rose" that she was working on with us that day, and I knew she was going to be something, because she picked it right up and she was doing a good job with it within minutes. So I never forgot that. And I'd like to also, as we're talking about the old days and things like that, I'd like to extend a thank you to everybody that supports the local musicians and local artists that are in the area, because, you know, we really work hard. And Michelle just said it. I mean, if you don't want to believe me, you have to believe her. It is a lot of work. We put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we do appreciate our fans and people that kind of come out and to see us and support us. That's why I think that we get up there and do this, you know, for as long as we possibly can, because we want to make sure that as long as we can stand up and we can dance and we can sing and everything, we want to make sure that we're there for you. And then in return, you're there for us. So thank you for the fans out there, and thank you for all the musicians that are out there that I appreciate. And my motto on the show is actually, we don't create stars on True Original Artists, we just promote the existing ones. So I'd like to keep that in our thoughts. And once again, I want to say thank you very much. It's been a really nice time with you here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody, all who support the shows, who support myself and Joe and all the local artists throughout the years, and hopefully more in the future.
And your mother.
Yes, yes. And don't forget.
Noches de tu mãe.
Yeah. But don't forget, I would love to see everybody on December 31st.
Yes.
At the PNC. It would be such a great time.
Absolutely. So this is Joe Kidd. I just want to say good night, True Original Artists. And before I go, I just want to run one quick thing by everybody. My show is now airing on specific times, so you can watch the show anytime on Monday nights at 6 p.m., which is prime time, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m., which is prime time, and Thursdays at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and then on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. So there's my show schedule. Michelle Romeiro, Joe Kidd, saying good night, and thank you very much, and we'll see you New Year's Eve.
When I was a little boy, just learning how to dance, well, you came into my life, became the girl by my side, and we started this hot romance. Estou a viver aqui, só a pensar em ti. Estou pensando em ti, sempre perto de mim, e esta noite não tem fim. Come on and dance with me, let's dance the night away. Come on and dance with me, if you do I know you'll stay. Come on and dance with me, let's dance around the world. Come on and dance with me, show me your dance, my Latina girl. Like a man out of town, heading my diamond way. Well, man, I don't stand a chance, no. Oh, you don't care, so please set me free.